many of us sometimes feel like we are starving for love? Like it's something out there and we have to figure out how to get it in here. And we do so much to try. We wear things, we don't wear things, we say things, we don't say things, we buy things, we buy more things. But who can blame us really? Because look around the world, it's very obvious that love is a lacking resource. I mean, like food. 1 billion people on the planet are starving. And yet, wait a minute. We actually know that there's enough grain alone to feed 12 billion people. That's 1.5 the world's population. And so we know it's not an abundance problem. It's a distribution problem. And what if that is the same with love? Love is not just an abundant resource, it's an infinite one. And yet we are starving. It's a distribution problem. And I witnessed that bottlenecking of that resource firsthand in first grade. I was doing my favorite thing, writing my name in block letters. And my name is Alice, so I'm writing A-L-I. And I ran out of room, a little overzealous. And I looked down, happy coincidence, there's a boy in class named Ali, A-L-I. And not only that, but no one ever talks to Ali. He's kind of actually in a cubicle quarantine-like thing in the side of the room because he can't concentrate. And here I am. I have a gift for Ali. And I go over to his desk, my heart just brimming with the perfection of this moment. And it was short-lived when a chorus of children's voices came up over the cubicle. Alice and Ali sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G, first comes love and marriage. What? I couldn't believe it. Why would my attention, my kindness, equal attraction? And that's when I recognized that we have quarantined love into a room far too small. Why would love always have to do with romance or a few persons nearest us? Einstein said this is a delusion of separation. It's a kind of prison for us, restricting us to affection for a few persons nearest us. And our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circles of compassion to embrace all living creatures. And not doing that is actually killing us, because the US Surgeon General says that loneliness has the same impact on the body as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And then there are the times when isolation becomes violence, because science says that lack of loving touch alters our neurochemistry so significantly, increasing cortisol, lowering oxytocin. We become more reactive, we become more violent, we become a danger to one another. And one could say we become a cancer cell in the one body of humanity. Because a cancer cell is one that forgets that it's part of a whole body. It thinks of itself as a self-contained organism, and it starts proliferating wildly, intruding upon the cells around it, the tissues around it, and endangers the life that gives it life. What? When we isolate people, we endanger the whole. Each of us is a cell in the one body of humanity. And when I was 20, something happened. I was living in New York City. I was sitting in my room. I was not a spiritual seeker, not a yogi, and not on drugs, okay? And I was just sitting on my bed, and I felt this tug, like from the center of my solar plexus down to the ground, and my body began to shake. And my head went back, my heart opened up, and it felt like the air around me was palpable, like an ocean. And that same ocean was filling me, which meant that I was not. And the next day, I went outside, that same New York City, kind of dangerous area, people holding onto their bags and averting their eyes. And I walked out, and my eyes locked with a man coming out of his building for what felt like an eternity. And finally he said, "You okay?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Wow. We just made love there, you know?" And then he said, "You be careful, okay?" And walking away, the next few months, I really felt like I had to do the breaststroke through the streets of New York. The air just felt so palpable with presence, and especially when I would be approaching a human. When I would approach a human, it felt like a star, because a star is not a vessel full of light. It's a place where there is so much matter. Light emerges from it, radiating from it. And it occurred to me that that's what we are. We're a place where there is so much presence that we needed an eyes, nose, and mouth to radiate that presence. And when I'd be almost approaching a person, I would prepare myself. I get to look presence in the eyes again. Turns out we are not here to be liked. We are here to be love. Quantum physics says it like this, that nothing witnessed can stay the same at a subatomic level. So we are actually literally changing each other. Mystical Judaism says it like this, so radical that the root of absolutely everything, every particle, every person is the same. It's two desires, the desire to give of itself and be known, seen, and heard. And where that doesn't happen, the natural flow of creation is interrupted, and something unnatural happens there. It's a distortion, hatred, violence, war, depression. And that one I got to know really well in my 30s when my all one became alone. And I recognized why the word apartment has the word apart in it. We're allowed to go into our apartments and have everybody fend for ourselves. We are allowed to quarantine Ali. We are allowed to build walls. But where we are not kissing the wounds of every person and every people, we are the cancer. We are the violence. We're not stopping a war, we're creating it. And governmentally even, we are allowed to withhold resource and starve parts of the one body. But let us remember, we are part of that body. This is what Martin Luther King Jr. meant when he said, our futures are inextricably bound. So how do we serve those we are closest to? We care for those we are furthest from. How do we protect those we love most? We provide for those we love least. The world we are leaving for our children is revealed in how we treat the children of those we consider our enemies. This isn't just a moral truth or a poem. It's a biological one. It's the immune function on a collective scale, okay? An immune system doesn't just look for what threatens, look for enemies. It actually looks for what needs help and rushes to it. Some cancers do need to be removed, but the key to healing comes from healthy cells restoring connection. That's us in society, good people, peacekeepers across borders, across beliefs, across wounds and unquantifiable grief, reaching out for one another. And in doing so, we become the white blood cell, the healing blood cells of humanity. And that human body breathes out a huge sigh of relief and gets down to healing itself. In fact, this is so cool, you guys. Some scientists are exploring how connection within tissues, intercellular communication, right, where the cells, may prevent the conditions in which cancer grows at all. Peaceful people across borders weaving the fabric of a finally functioning body. And we get to just start with ourselves, because something so amazing is that everything inside of you has that same root, those desires to give of self and be known, seen, and heard. So hold yourself, rush to it, see every single thought, every single emotion. This is what is being thought. This is what is being felt. Because you are the world in a very meaningful way. How you treat your sadness is how you treat a sad person. How you treat an angry person is how you treat yourself when you're angry. And how you treat your love starvation, your longing, well, you were always the love made to fill it. So I'm a rabbi, so I'm going to quote from a Jewish book, the Talmud. Anyone who destroys a soul, it is as if he's destroyed an entire world. And anyone who saves a soul, it is as if he's saved the entire world. And the book of Zechariah, not by force, not by power, but by presence. You are the love that this world needs. Your body is the hose. Let it out. Your eyes, your mouth, your hands, your heart. Right now, you are the flow. Thank you, God.